This Week in Habsland. I am Jordan and he is Brian, and we are exhausted after a third straight overtime between your Montreal Canadiens and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Habs win, go up 2-1 in the series, overtime goal from Lane Hutson. Brian, I want to start with this. How are you? So you and I, we're talking about the game, we're analyzing it, trading jokes here and there. How are you doing watching these games? How are you digesting it? Are you developing any weird habits? This is 3 straight overtime games. Nail biter. No team has held on to a lead in this series. How are you doing, Brian?
My sugar intake is off the charts, partially to stay awake for these games. Not that I'm already, not excited over the moon to be watching them and have all the energy in the world just from the game itself. But I tend to stress eat. And tonight it was chocolate and Coca-Cola, mini eggs, all that good stuff. So doing some of that, but enjoying the hell out of it. You got to treat yourself. When things are going well, you got to treat yourself. That's how I'm viewing it.
Right. So I'm not very much to that extent. I had a nice dinner beforehand, so I was all right. What I have been...
Oh, I did too. I did too. I'm just, I'm not good with self-control. That's all.
Yeah, that's it. So here's the thing. I have a weird habit when I'm pretty good watching the Habs, the Raptors, the Eagles, whatever during the year. Non-playoffs, I don't stress. It is what it is. I've won my Super Bowls, my NBA championship. I can live a happy man. Playoffs is a different thing. I start to actually feel stress, anxiety. We all do. We're living moment to moment.
Yeah.
A weird quirk I have picked up, and I did this a little bit in the Olympics as well, is I will start to pace, which I don't think is that anomalous.
That's a classic.
The weird one is I put the game on mute and I put on a non-sports podcast. And I didn't do that for game 1 or game 2. Today I noticed I started muting it when Tampa was on the power play. I don't know. I just thought if I can't hear Kucherov shoot, he can't shoot. And then by the third period, it was full-blown Daredevil Born Again podcast. Just to I don't know. Anyways, that's how I'm doing halfway through this series.
Man.
Yeah.
All right. So you're more stressed than I am, I think.
I think it's just trying to calibrate a little bit.
Sure.
Sure. It doesn't help that, has either team had a multi-goal lead at this point? It's always been a 1-goal game or a tie game or literally an overtime. So
yeah,
this isn't, I don't want to throw any of these teams under the bus. This isn't a Pittsburgh situation. Rough week for the whole city of Pittsburgh, but we don't have to get into
pretty
that.
Much. Yeah. That I want to jump in on that because if we feel this way and we're just 2 silly fans with a podcast, how do the players feel? The Habs coming into the Bell Center tonight after that unbelievable ceremony too. Opening ceremony's legendary Canadien de Montréal, Yvan Cournoyer. He lit the flame.
Yeah.
I felt the heat at home. I bet it was a volcano in the building. Like we say for the 100th time, by the way, just sidebar, Habs do it best. Again, ceremony nailed, quick.
Yeah.
Perfect. It was excellent.
It was so loud on the TVS Ball broadcast for a moment. I'm like, wait, are they not playing Coldplay? Because it was so loud, you couldn't hear the beginning of like the main part where the guitar riff comes in on the Coldplay song. And then obviously I heard it, and I've talked about it on the podcast in the past, like the emotions of that song playing bring me back, and it hit me today. I think it hit everybody today. Cournoyer, like, holy man, like what they can always do this. They can always reach in the bag and find someone else to bring out. And when it's like, oh, just 10-time Stanley Cup champion, probably third best winger of all time along the Montreal Canadiens, 400 plus goals. Long-serving captain, sure, we can pull him out. Let's get him out there. Holy, what a game. What a game. So here's where I want to start. Let's get into it. We're going to talk Lane Hutson, but we have to start with Martin St. Louis. For the last 72 hours, people have been yelling at him. Even after game 1, you and I were like, I think it's time to make some changes. That Dach line's not really working. Then Dach has the whole thing. I won't even call them fans. Terrible people do very mean things to him online. He goes through a whole lot of bad stuff. And the questions are still like, hey, are you going to make some changes? And Marty's really very adamant, being like, no, I think that line's been good. It's been physical. They've been doing enough. Okay. So it looks like Marty's kind of putting his foot down and be like, okay, Dach's my guy. I'm not going to let him go here. He does flip some, moves the lines around. He doesn't touch the top line, doesn't touch the shutdown line. but he flips if you want to call it the middle six, whatever you want to call it, but like he flips it, he creates a new Dach line. Dach's at center with Bolduc and Alex Texier, and then he reunites the old second line. You have to give credit for Marty because that Dach line is on the ice for the first goal of the game, the Habs' second goal of the game that ties it, and the game winner.
Yeah.
So what did you think about so Marty like doing his thing, sticking to his guns, and how are like in terms of like Marty's coaching and how it's been going so far? Like this was a huge moment, and like man, it paid off.
It paid off big time, man. And I love that he was willing to try things. Late in the third period, he tried Newhook, Dach, Demidov. The three players who had been going, and it was clear that Kapanen didn't have it. So, okay, throw Dach in. He's having a night. And then I don't think it's a stretch to say Texier, Bolduc, and Dach just had their best games as Montreal Canadiens.
100%.
What a time to do it. Are you kidding me? Game 3, coming back home with where all the pressure's on. The pressure is so high that even the top line is struggling. Not that they hadn't been struggling already. I was hoping that the crowd Friday night, Cole would wake up. I mean, you knew the NHL had to take away Saturday night Cole from the Canadiens because that's just a cheat code. So Friday and Sunday it is, I guess. But that line was the best one on the ice for the Montreal Canadiens. The Evans line was excellent as well. Evans, Danault, Anderson, they were phenomenal. But in terms of point production too, like you don't win this game with pure domination on defense. You win this game because they're on the ice for 3 of the goals.
Yeah.
They score 2 of them. Hutson's bomb was ridiculous, and it came after. Anyway, I know we want to discuss all of these things, but we have to spend more time on the third line because that's we were so wrong. And this is a very important lesson in terms of sports. If Marty had listened and taken Dach out of the lineup, like I suggested, like a lot of people suggested, what happens tonight? Does Gallagher or Veleno come in and find a niche with those other 2 guys and they score 2 or 3 goals depending on how you view it? Like that doesn't happen. So the team supporting Dach through all this and defending him and just having a completely united front was, I was about to say refreshing. It's not refreshing. That tends to be what good sports teams do, but it was exactly what they needed to do. Marty defending him, fantastic. And then they come out and prove that they do belong. And I couldn't be more excited for game 4. That third line, what are they going to do next?
So what's really funny here is I, of all people, have been banging the drum all year on what, Brian? Man, the bottom 6 just doesn't have it. The Canadiens won this game because of the bottom 6. Full credit.
So.
That Danault, Anderson, Evans line, they have found something. They have figured it out. It's not an accident. You and I were positing the idea of like, man, what if you just pull Jake Evans to go help Demidov? And Marty's like, no, it's too important that Danault line. And they've been getting second most ice time.
And tough matchups.
And very tough matchups, especially now at home. They get a bit more control over those tough matchups. And the Danault line's going over the ice for that. And then this rough and tumble, a Texier back in the bottom 6 where I like him. Or at least like on a line that stylistically is a bottom 6 of we're just going to run at the boards, try to kill you with our physicality, get on the forecheck, get Bolduc on the forecheck, get Texier on the forecheck. And that's basically the game-winning goal, by the way. Where it's those guys just nailing guys on the forecheck, and then Texier just bullying Braden Point and keeping the puck away from him for 5-6 seconds before he finds Lane Hutson to score the game-winning goal. Like, those guys are great. It's, again, credit to Kirby Dach for, you said it, like it's the game of his career. Goal and assist on the ice for the game winner. He was great. Bolduc, who has been very highly scrutinized by a lot of people this year, and he's been on the bubble, right? Of like, is he in? Is he out? Is he getting healthy scratched? He brought it as well today. And Alex Texier, I think, again, kind of, I think we have maybe you and I were a little confused at the beginning with the Texier experience, but I think we've settled in the past couple months of like, we get it, we know what he is.
Right.
Yeah, the bottom 6, they are like in the way that we don't have to get to the top line yet. We're going to get to them, but in the way that the top 6 right now is very much being like the Tampa top 6 is beating the Habs top 6, obviously. The other way, like the other matchup of like Habs bottom 6 versus Tampa bottom 6, it's not close. It's a rout right now, the way they're playing. Anderson has 2 goals. Kirby Dach has a goal. Alex Texier has a goal. They are playing really well. So full credit to Marty for understanding and tweaking. And like that Danault Anderson Evans thing wasn't figured out right away. it took a while to get to that, right? It was only in the past last 2-3 weeks of the season before it was like, okay, you know what? We're going to bump Jake Evans off of his fourth line center duties, promote him and play him as a winger. And I know it's like quasi winger, quasi center with I know they flip flop here and there. And that's kind of the beauty of that line. And then just tweaking and tweaking and tweaking to get that right other bottom six line. It's absolutely amazing stuff from these guys.
It really is. And from Marty, I want to bring it back to him because it was about game 75-ish, game 76. I don't remember the exact game, but that's when Kapanen moved down and things started to move. And I, watching that, felt the way that I felt when, well, I didn't live this, but like when I watch highlight videos of Tiger Woods and they talk about how he altered his swing at the height of his career in order to be even more effective. He's already winning every tournament he plays, basically. And then he goes, you know what? I need longevity, and this swing is going to be tough for me long term, and I need a little bit more precision and control. So I'm going to change my swing. It really felt like that. Like the team is doing really well. We're basically in the playoffs at this point at game 75. We just didn't know where we would be. And Marty goes, I'm going to change things. And I think we're only seeing the positive results now. And what's funny is the only line that didn't change, the top line, is the one that has not figured it out yet in the playoffs. Not that they're the only ones. There's other players who have yet to figure it out. You mentioned Kapanen. So they have a lot of time. Oh, wait, no, they don't. This is a playoff series.
Yeah.
Like, do you want to get to the top line now?
No, we have to get not to cut you off, but we got to get Lane Hutson, all right? It's got to be him.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
So we gave praise to Marty, to the Dach line. We got to go to Lane now. We're 10 plus minutes in. We haven't talked about Lane Hutson. Without a doubt, he's been
Jordan.
Yeah, what's up?
What did Lane do tonight?
I don't know. Just continued to be the best player on the ice for the third straight game. And just like, we watch these playoffs, and what is so cool about this time of year is like the first 6 months that is a regular season, it's a good entertainment. We see teams grow. We see moments where you're like, this is good team building stuff. Or like, hey, sometimes it's just hockey. We like watching hockey. Man, when you get to now, you're like, okay, it's test time. It's exam time. Lane Hutson is just proving he might be the best player on the team already. That's what, and I know, like, not to get to the Suzuki stuff, but like, when we briefly talked about Selke, I said, don't forget Anthony Cirelli, and we're seeing why. But on Hutson, he played 32 minutes last game. He played 26 and a half minutes tonight. He's on the penalty kill now, by the way, making huge plays, like really smart cerebral plays on the on the penalty kill. The power play didn't score, but like the last couple opportunities, there was stuff starting to happen. I think they're on the upswing out of the funk, but it's not quite there yet. Hudson's been their best guy. He's blocking shots. He is just physical enough. He has not been shut down in any capacity by Tampa Bay. He has another bomb tonight. So he has 2 goals and an assist. I believe he's now point per game, where he's continued to be point per game in the playoffs in his career, 8 points in 8 games. It's unreal what he's doing, and how, again, this is the cool time of year when you get to watch Brady Tkachuk have 0 points and is a -3. You're like, okay. Not like F that guy, but like, that's bad. Failing your test, right? We've seen it with Mitch Marner in the past. We see it with guys all the time. Like, this is the time of year that matters. And Lane Hutson is like, cool, I got it, guys. Don't worry about it. What'd you think of Lane tonight?
His confidence is astounding. And the amount of times that he'll just juke somebody. I was in the midst of a thought where he was on the ice with the top line, and they had just finished passing the puck around the perimeter, not really doing anything. And the puck came back to Lane. And I kind of just sighed like, guys, figure it out. Do something creative. And as the thought occurs to me, Lane Hutson fakes to the right, does half a spinorama, and then goes back the other way and beats the guy, and then sets up a beautiful pass. Like, he's able to do it every shift.
Yeah.
Most players, if they're high skill players, it's not necessarily every shift that they even have the puck. He just seems to have the puck all the time. Everybody wants to feed him, and he's always in the right position to receive it. And then when he does receive it, he's doing something crazy every single shift. Lane Hutson is amazing. I forget the way you put it, but just before we started recording, you joked, like, didn't he only learn to score goals 30 games into his career or something like that? Like, he didn't have a goal for
it's wild.
The first. Like, it is wild. It's unbelievable.
He, like, I don't know, he's going to score 20 goals next year. He's now figured out he can just take bombs from the point and be like, I can score these too. Awesome, man. Cool. These are my notes from Lane Hutson in today's game, and I think this is very emblematic. My first note is he blocks a shot and eats the puck, and I think it falls into his glove on the penalty kill in the first period. That's one of my main notes with him. Then my next note for about Lane Hutson was another penalty kill. Great slide at the end of the penalty kill at the beginning of the second period.
Yes.
Huge moment. Then he has the pass to Demidov on one of our ill-fated breakaways that happened tonight. Josh Anderson and Cole Caufield with the other three, but it's Hutson's pass that gets to Demidov. Then there's a Demidov one-timer that goes wide now on the power play. So we're talking about him on the penalty kill. We're talking about him at 5-on-5. We're talking about him on the power play. And then the other one, and this was a very subtle moment, and it's credit to Slafkovsky and to Guhle as well. Tampa, at times, early second period, they turned up the heat again on the forecheck, and I think they're just trying to be opportunistic. It's not game planning it or anything. But they were doing it a bit again, last 5-6 minutes, seeing if they can get the Canadiens sleeping a bit. And there's one really nice moment, because sometimes we see that Habs try to reverse a cycle, and it's just disaster zone. And I thought Mike Matheson had a really poor game tonight. But this one was Slav sees it, and he pauses for a moment, and he sees Guhle, reverses it. Guhle gets it. He's completely behind the net now, and there's a man on him. He waits for a beat, and he just sees Hutson at the corner, and he continues the reverse cycle it. Hutson gets it. It's a full release valve, and they're good. But that's what, 22-year-old Uri Slafkovsky, 22-year-old or maybe 23-year-old Caden Guhle, 21-year-old, 22-year-old Lane Hutson. 5 minutes left in a tie game in game 3. I wanted to shout out that moment because it was this is good, smart, simple defensive play. Hudson's part of it. Credit to Slav and Guhle as well. But those are my notes. And then the overtime goal, I just have, and that's when we started recording, when he scored the power play goal. So he was everywhere tonight. He has been their best player. All due respect to Jakob Dobes, who is in the conversation, but it's Hutson with a bullet.
Tonight it certainly was. The game winner gets you that. Dobes was great. Hutson, what I love about his penalty killing specifically is all of the things that make him great in one form of special teams, the power play, make him also great in the penalty kill. His lateral movement being fantastic allows him to get from one passing lane to another without skipping a beat. So the puck is being whipped around the zone, and he's always in the perfect place because his feet move so well, and he stops so well. He doesn't overshoot. It's so fun to watch. He's so fun to watch in both zones. To view him as a purely offensive player is to completely underestimate what he's capable of in the defensive zone, and he's using the same things to do both. It's so compelling.
Yeah. Couple other guys I wanted to get to in a small good game, bad game. Let's see what happened. Arbor Jacki. 3 games in a row now, Matt. First of all, again,
fantastic.
Marty using him perfectly, but absolutely full credit to Arbor Jacki. He has figured out where the line is. Brian, you and I talk about this all the time. Where's the line? Where are they going to draw the line today? Arbor in this game was very much, there's a couple moments, where he's ready to throw down and he's like, no, I can't do that. But he pulls back at the exact right moment. The Dach goal that ties the game at 2-2. It's a huge hit from Arbor Jacki that kind of opens up the space for Kirby Dach, and Bolduc's in front to screen it. And it is a weird deflection, but it's Arbor kind of pinching, going for the body, and that opens up the space for Dach to get his shot off. So I just wanted to credit Jacki there. He's been pinching a little bit more. He's been getting into it. He's not making bad plays defensively. Again, he's being used in a very limited capacity. It's 10, 11 minutes a night, but this is kind of we are hitting the 90th percentile of what I thought Arbor Jacki could become. And we're getting it in playoffs, which is even more impressive.
And we got it from the start of the game today, which is another thing Hutson did too. They both had great hits within the first shift or 2 shifts that they were on, and Anderson too. And that was a big part of this game. But yeah, Jacki's physicality has been phenomenal. Not needing to fight, just needing to hit hard. 5 hits, then 4 hits, then 8 hits. He's got 17 hits in this series. That is massive.
Amazing.
Most players won't hit that in the whole playoff run.
Yeah, that's a hit.
In any team,
every other
team's
shift?
Playoff run.
More than every other shift, he's getting a hit.
More than every other shift, yeah. It's almost every shift.
Yeah, he's been great. It's been really impressive. Okay, is there anyone else we want to speak positively about before we start shifting a little bit to the other side? And not in terms of being negative, in terms of let's start thinking a bit about Game 4 and what needs to continue to get better.
Just being realistic.
Okay.
Yeah. Dobes we glanced over. Dobes was great.
He had a huge save out of the TV timeout with about 4 or 5 minutes left. That doesn't make the save, they lose the game. So he's had moments, and I think he has gone toe to toe with Vasilevsky about as well as we thought he could. He's not had to steal anything. And no one's talking about it. Andrei Vasilevsky has been incredible in this series. The Canadiens, once again, have continued to outplay Tampa Bay at 5-on-5. 61% expected goal percentage at 5-on-5 for the Canadiens in this game. Those 3 breakaways that Vasilevsky stops. I mean, one's Josh Anderson, so that doesn't count. But the other 2...
the other 2 do count.
The other 2 do count. Vasilevsky has been incredible in this series. We're not talking about it because it's not our job to talk about it. But like, also like the other thing here, like, and we're going to get into the top line now. It's fair to be critical of these guys. We're scrutinizing it. We're watching it game by game. It's also just 2 really damn good teams throwing haymakers back and forth. So sometimes when your guys aren't doing great, it's because the other team is doing great. I've had this discussion with you before, right? Like, guess what? Those other guys, they're also trying to win. And those other guys are damn good at hockey as well. So, this is not like we're not playing the Chicago Blackhawks in December anymore.
And they also happen to have, you could argue, the most experienced and knowledgeable and good at tactics and matchups coach that's currently in the NHL, in John Cooper. And so advantage Tampa in terms of deciding what the matchups are. Martin St. Louis' experience prior to the NHL was obviously being an unbelievably phenomenal player who rose from next to nothing to become great. And then it was coaching kids. It was coaching non-professional 14, 15-year-olds at hockey. So there's a drastic difference in terms of the knowledge base there from a coaching perspective alone. Like, Martin St. Louis has forgotten more about hockey than most people could ever dream of.
Yeah.
But you are seeing quite clearly that the main focus for Montreal's offense all year is getting stifled. And it's getting stifled in part because of very good matchups. And as you said, Cirelli and his whole line, but Cirelli especially, has been phenomenal.
Yeah. And I will say, like, the advanced stats, I don't know if I said this explicitly after game 1. Money Puck and Natural Stat Trick have always had a bit of a rivalry here for those of us that dig into these numbers. And what I've seen so far is that these 2 sites are disagreeing on how effective the Suzuki line has been. So I believe it was something like in game 1, Money Puck had the Suzuki line at a 4% expected goal percentage, whereas Natural Stat Trick had it like 41% or something along those lines. So it's kind of, gone back and forth. I thought they had some chances there towards the end. So like Money Puck shows them at 81% in this game, the Slafkovsky line or Suzuki line. I think Natural Stat Trick had it like 60% or 70%. So statistically, that line looked past the test today. Eye test wise, and we can also include the power play in here, which I mentioned a bit. Something's still off with those guys. They're still passing up. They've passed up shots all year, so this is no surprise. But what's going on here, Brian? Cole Caufield, I believe the breakaway was his first shot at 5-on-5 this whole series. What's happening?
Slafkovsky looked slow today. He looked like he couldn't accelerate, and once he got going, he wasn't his normal speedy self. I am having a lot of trouble putting my finger on this one. I find this one really difficult to figure out. There's a lack of connectedness that is really obvious to me, and the lack of speed from Slafkovsky specifically. Beyond that, man, help me out. What's the deal?
It can be both. It can be multiple things, right? It's not like these guys were 100% gangbusters all the time. Sometimes you do go through a bit of a slump. And then you add the Cirelli factor, which again, this guy, me dollars to donuts. He should get the Selke trophy this year. And I know it's likely going to Nick Suzuki by all accounts, but I think I think those 2 guys are going to be in the top 3 voting, the nominations, whatever. So that also plays a role in here. You also got to wonder with Slav, the fight. Is there any residual? I don't know. I don't want to say concussion. I can't. That's speaking out of turn, but like, he has the blunder in the third period in game 2. He is like, he's fine tonight. You thought he looked a bit slow. I think that's fair. Like to me, Demidov, I know we're talking first line, but also the power play. Demidov started to have some moments again, but he's just, I think because he cannot get into it at 5-on-5 by the time they get to the power play. And maybe that's why when they had those consecutive power plays at the end, he started like revving up a little bit. So you saw a bit more Demidov push. Slav had a quiet game for me. I think Suzuki, the struggle is still there. I think defensively they were way better. They did not get hemmed in today. You told me that right before we started. You're like, hey, at least they didn't get hemmed in. I'm like, yeah, okay, fair point.
Yeah. Well, and that's why their advanced stats were good despite not producing anything, because they spent most of their time in the offensive zone and then in the neutral zone somewhat. They limited the opposition's chances, which is good.
Yeah.
It would be nice, though, if one of the best offensive lines in hockey could produce some offense. That would be really nice. I do worry about the brain fog with Slav. Like you said, we're speaking out of turn. We are. Like, this is complete speculation, but you get hit in the head hard enough, at the very least, you got brain fog for a little while. So it's worrisome, to say the least.
Yeah.
I was so hoping for a Caufield goal to just on Friday night at the Bell Center just put all of this stuff behind us, stop worrying about, or at least like have a game where he had like 4 or 5 shots on net. How many shots did he even have tonight? Like I remember that breakaway.
Just had the one.
One shot.
Yep.
That's it. Man, oh man.
One shot at 5-on-5, as far as I could tell, in 3 games right now. And it was on a literal breakaway. Which, again, I shouldn't get too annoyed because I'm pretty sure that was the only shot of the 3 breakaways. The other 2 breakaways did not result in any shots. Brian, this doesn't sound stupid. They're up 2-1. They have game 4 at home. This is the biggest game of the series. You know, we said it in the preview. Game 4 is the coolest game of a playoff series. Either it's a Carolina, Ottawa, Philly, Pittsburgh situation where it's like this series was never interesting, so game 4 is obviously not interesting. Or for most series, game 4 is the big decider. It's either 2-2 or 3-1. So we're going to see a lot. So I know they're up 2-1 right now, and they still have home ice. Can they win this series, Brian, in all honesty, without the first line getting going?
No.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I also think that they're just inevitable. They will wake up at one point. So if we do end up winning the series, they will have woken up. I hope I'm wrong. And look, as long as they don't caved in, maybe this is the right answer. As long as they don't get caved in and they keep having dominant 5-on-5 performances where maybe they don't produce any offense, but the opposition produces even less than that, maybe it's feasible. Like we said before, the bottom 6 for the Canadiens is far better than the bottom 6 for the Lightning. The second line for the Canadiens, though, hasn't found it much either.
No, there's no second
line. And Vasilevsky,
that line's dead. I don't
know. It's a black hole.
Like, okay, again, like power play wise, I thought the second power play of the second period, not the one that overlapped, the one right before that. There's Suzuki misses Caufield on a one-timer. Demidov has a one-timer from Hutson that goes wide. So I thought like it was starting to click. And if those guys can at least click on the power play, which again, it seems like it was shifting towards a goal, that might be enough. But if you wanted like the other option, which I thought was potentially on the table, is putting Slav with Demidov. I don't know if that's throwing in the towel a bit on Suzuki and Caufield, or if you just got to yell at them and be like, can you shoot the puck already? There's one of my notes, Brian, in the third period is, wow, Suzuki actually took a shot, because I'm surprised now when they take shots. And I know they've done this all season, but like,
yeah, well, that 2-on-1 Slafkovsky to Caufield was bad.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, look, he got the shot off. Maybe it wasn't bad, but I just looked at that. I was like, Slafkovsky he was on the doorstep. Take the shot. I feel even shitty having this conversation after they won. Like, that line didn't get caved in. They didn't make blunders. They didn't screw up other than missing opportunities offensively, which they didn't normally do. So it's worrisome. I don't want to pile on them either, though.
No. Again, like, okay, good. I'm happy you bring us back. Let's provide the context here. This is the hardest test this line has ever faced. Ever.
This isn't
PLD, man. This isn't last year.
No.
This is Anthony Cirelli.
No, this is real shit. Yeah.
This is top tier. This is not too far off. If you had Sasha Barkov or Nico Hischier, and this is the absolute top tier of shutdown guys going at you. You are the number one game plan right now for Tampa Bay. Shut down the first line. And look, this series has been like flipping on a dime. It could be 3-0 Habs. Like, if this first line's going, this series is over.
Yeah, it is.
It's not a close series, man.
And perhaps that's the most frustrating part about this, because Tampa's top players have been pretty good.
I mean,
like Hagel.
Yeah.
What is his name?
Yeah, he's good.
Just scoring up a storm. Like he's quickly, because like Kucherov is washed.
So
I know, like literally two or 3 days ago, we were saying F Kucherov. I hate that guy, but he's washed now. Game 3, he's washed. It's all Hagel. Hagel's the bad guy now.
I'm not jinxing any of this, man. It's us all on you. You do what you need to do right now.
That's fine. Jinxes aren't real.
Oh,
Jinxes aren't real.
Good.
I'm doubling down. I don't give a shit. And the Habs will not have any high sticking minors in next game either.
And Matheson won't break another stick. Never.
No.
He's broken his last stick. So Brandon Hagel has been absolutely incredible. Anthony Cirelli's been on a different level. Nikita Kucherov has been like high event, but not necessarily like good for Tampa. He's everywhere.
No,
but not
high
always
event,
in good ways.
And the events are being a shithead and slew-footing guys. And he went to the box for that one, thankfully. Yeah. And then also running into Dobes. And Chernak did that too. But just being a kind of a clown show for, he's supposed to be the regular season MVP. Do regular season MVPs carry on like clowns like this? I don't know.
What's your top 3 on your sports hate right now for the Lightning players? Kucherov's number 1. He's unimpeachable.
Well, I'm quickly turning towards Hagel, just because he's really good and he's helping them win the series. Whereas Kucherov is being a rat. He's really bothersome.
Okay, sure.
That's still Kucherov. He's a piece of crap.
Yeah,
it's Kucherov, Hagel. Oh man, Radish is really good. He's really good.
Okay, good. See, I'm helping. We're balancing it out.
Perry's frustrating me.
Perry's annoying. Perry's an idiot. It's fine. We played for the Habs. We're allowed to call him an idiot. He does his job well. He's just ancient now.
Yep.
Lilleberg. He was the POS there at the end of the third period. Who did you see the one that cross checks Jake Evans into Jakob Dobes and starts
in the chin?
That he rose up my rankings on that, and obviously Sabourin, because he's not even a real hockey player. Anyways, okay, good. We balance it out there,
dude. That's the thing too, man. Is they've got guys like that in their lineup. You can't lose to them if they want to do that. You have to put out a real hockey team and win these games, and the top line has to produce.
Okay, closing questions.
It's just as simple as that, I think. Please, yeah.
Do you mix up the top 6 in game 4 to start the game?
So I don't think so, because who the hell else goes with Suzuki and Caufield that doesn't make them even more invisible?
Because you can't take Texier away. Texier has been the backup option not all year, but he's been clearly the preferred backup option for St. Louis. You're not touching that line anymore.
The only thing that's even remotely close to considerable is Alex Newhook.
Yes, that is the option. Right?
That's the only option. It's not Kapanen. Don't be silly. And Demidov, the whole reason you're putting Slaf down is to go with Demidov, not to, like, if you just swap them, Slaf's like, hey, wait a minute. This sucks for me now. No, it's Newhook, because that's worked in the past. The size is not fantastic, but
it's more
Alex
speed,
Newhook,
right? And maybe
more speed.
Maybe that's what you need right now with Caufield. Just have Alex Newhook flying 60 kilometers an hour down the opposite wing and see what happens.
Yeah.
I don't think that, because they won, I don't think they'll do it. This has to be something that Marty's thought of by now. And I was a little surprised. Again, they won. Marty deserves full points. I was a little surprised we didn't see in the third period tonight. Truthfully, that we didn't see the flip. It was specifically Newhook and Slafkovsky. My bottom 6 is working really nicely. I need a jolt, and maybe it's just splitting up Slaf, bringing him with Demidov, giving that extra boost. Newhook's not perfect, but maybe just Newhook flying down the wing. And I don't think a Gallagher or Veleno help this situation, even if you're taking Kapanen out. Like, I don't think that does anything. Okay.
No, these are the 12.
Yeah.
These are the 12 now. The questionable ones just had the best games of their careers. Texier was not included in this. It was more Dach, especially, Bolduc a little bit, but they just had the best game of their career. So they're not coming out, and they're staying together. Like, you have to keep them together now. So that's a non-option. Like, the other option would have been Dach up to the top line. I don't think you do that now. Less ice time is better for Kirby Dach, I think, and he's playing really well right now. Don't change that.
Okay, Brian.
I don't know. I wouldn't make that. I wouldn't make that move.
No, again, because they won the game, I don't think they're going to change anything going into game 4. But again, I do wonder if it's just on the table at some point for Marty to do. Any closing thoughts? Anything else you wanted to touch on before we wrap this up here?
You had glanced at Matheson quickly, and I didn't love Strubal's game either.
Yeah, fair.
I just found the play went to die at Strubal's stick, and maybe I'm expecting too much of him, but when you're out there with the top line, like a lot of their plays did die with Strubel tonight.
Yeah.
I say a lot, maybe 2 or 3, but that's enough that's a few opportunities, you know?
But it's relevant because look how these are two really good hockey teams. I can't say this enough. These are two teams that finished with 106 points in the toughest division in the league. Like, they're really good hockey teams.
They might be the most evenly matched teams we've ever seen.
Maybe, yeah.
We're same amount of points in the regular season, and then 3 games go to overtime. Record is 5, by the way, everybody. Yes. It's 5 overtime games in a playoff series. There have been two instances of that. 1951 Stanley Cup final between the Leafs and the Canadiens, and then in 2012 Coyotes and Blackhawks conference quarterfinals.
Oh, interesting.
So
okay.
It's only happened twice. We're on pace for 7.
No,
because this is likely going 7 in overtime, and I'm going to be 400 pounds by the end of it because I can't stop eating sugar. And you're evidently going to just pace divots into your floor.
Yeah.
And
I have to watch new shows so I can listen to people talk about those shows during these games. Yeah, point is on the Strubel stuff, the Matheson stuff, like the margin is so small right now. Like, the heroes of tonight are Lane Hutson, number 1, Kirby Dach and his line, number 2, Jakob Dobes, number 3. They were all phenomenal today. I thought Caden Gooley and Alex Carrier continued their strong, consistent play as well. And the Danault line with Anderson and Evans, full marks. Those guys were great. Not everyone else was like a passenger, but like first line's struggling with their exam right now. And the second line's not really doing it. And I thought this was a bad Mike Matheson game. It just was. There's a lot of silly turnovers. And look, he's playing like 25 minutes tonight. Like, it's going to add up. They only got 1 day off till game 4. So we'll see how that, and then there's a 2-day break again when they go back to Tampa for game 5. So they can close it out. But I think with that, Brian, any last words?
Well, just by then, like by game 4, we're going to have new heroes and new guys who were like, they had a bad game. Because that's also the thing. We're used to having episodes, and I think people in general are used to seeing things much more on a several game at a time scale. We do an episode, once a week, usually 3 games, 4 games, 2 games, something like that.
Yeah.
Here we watch a game and then we nitpick every little tiny thing despite the team won. It's fun. I love it. But like, we're bound to get down on Matheson, who had been having a decent series. I didn't think Strubel was bad in game 2 so much. Game 3 was bad. It happens. And maybe the third line will disappear and we can't forget what happened in game 3. So I think this is a lesson for us, for fans in general too, of it's a young team who's going to be inconsistent. Of course they're going to be inconsistent. From one game to the next, you're going to see very different lines, even though it's the same 3 guys on that line. So patience is key here. They're still finding ways to win. Things are good.
They won. They won an overtime game.
They won. We found a way to talk
for
for 20 minutes about the bad stuff, but they won.
Well, again, not the bad stuff. Just like, man, if you tweak this one part, if you figure out this one part, if the first line can figure it out.
The one part being the first line, exactly.
But again, it's
then the series is 3-0 and none of these games go to overtime, and it's...
I think it's an either or with the first line or power play. At this point, I feel like I've seen enough of this series to say one of those 2 things works well in a game, they're fine. They're going to win. If neither get figured out like it was today, you need a Kirby Dach heroic. You need Lane Hutson heroic. You need Jakob Dobes, who was trying to do it in the last game, even though they got a power play goal. But like, that's kind of how I see it, where it's like those guys, if they can figure it out, which is why you want to focus on it, because it's like, just get this over with, man. We're going to be like, anyways, like this, we're halfway through the series. No one ever thought this was going less than 6. So your chances are, Brian, you're right that this is going to go really, really long. But the Habs are in the right spot. They're up 2-1. They got game 4 at home. Here's another huge opportunity. I remember we would we were half serious about it like last season when it was like March 12th. And we're like, okay, biggest game of this group's tenure so far. Like, it's a Sunday night game in Florida in the regular season. And it was their biggest game. We're here. This is it. Mark the calendar. This is the biggest game they've ever played. Odds are game 5 will be even bigger. 2-1 at home, game 4. This is officially now and this is cool. This is why the exam period is awesome, because we're actually here learning what the hell, who has it, who might not have it yet, and what do you need to get. So it's awesome. We're not going to sleep for like 3 hours. So whatever. It is what it is. Playoff hockey's weird, man, but it's fun, I guess. Is it fun? This is fun, right?
This is beyond fun.
Okay.
I mean, I won't speak for those fans of other teams, 14 other teams who are enjoying a less good series than we have, because we have by far the best series in the NHL. I think I asked you, like, you said it's not close.
No.
Yeah.
I've watched just enough. I've watched a good amount of Ottawa, Carolina because of my proximity to Canada. Ottawa's they were putting up a good fight. Linus Ullmark, ironically, has been their best player. That series sucks. Pittsburgh, Philly, boring unless you enjoy Philly just dunking on Pittsburgh all week, which I enjoy to an extent for other reasons. The Buffalo-Boston is overlapped a bit too much with the Habs, so I haven't seen enough of it, truthfully. And then the West Coast series, some of them start too late. I've watched enough of Colorado, LA to know that's not exciting. Colorado's just too good. Dallas, Minnesota is obviously going to be in the conversation, but again, sure. I haven't caught too much of it, and game 1 was a blowout as well. So we'll see.
Isn't it interesting that the two series that should not frickin' exist are the most exciting ones? The ones that should be conference finals?
I know. Whatever, man.
Dallas, Minnesota, 2 against 3. Us against Tampa, 3 against 4. This, I suppose, is the argument for it.
No, it's not. It's stupid. Shut up.
I know. I agree. I'm just okay. I won't even be devil's advocate. I'm gonna infuriate you.
You can end it right there. Look, Lane Hutson's the hero. Kirby Dach was right there. He was the second star of the night. I think they gave Brandon Hagel the 3rd star, but it should have been Jakob Dobes. You can be some homers. Habs up 2-1 in the series Sunday night, game 4, huge game at the Bell Center. We'll be back to pod right after that game. But until then, you can follow us on Spotify you can follow us on social media at Habsland Pod. Follow us on Spotify, 5-star review, all that stuff. And until game 4, go Habs.